Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Rants and Yarn with Two Best Friends. I was making a video with Stefanie for the part 2 of sugar versus fat, but since it's windy where she is, her internet's going in and out, so we were only able to record like 23 minutes of the part 2, so as soon as we're able to record, probably next week, the rest of the part 2, we will get it up to you as soon as possible. So I'm bringing you another video on another topic. And any news going on? Not much. Just the normal things that are going on. Just the normal things that are going on. Because I don't really have anything that I need to bring up news-wise at the moment. Anyway, so the article I have for you today is Why Google is Killing Off Fresno's Mosquitoes. Silicon Valley researchers are attacking flying bloodsuckers in California's Fresno County. It's the first salvo in an unlikely war for Google parent Alphabet Inc., eradicating mosquito-borne diseases around the world. If you don't know where Fresno is, it's in California. And it's a lot of farmland over there, and it's a farming town that's now being populated and has starting to have a large community, and that's expanding outside of just farming. And yeah, so there's a lot of mosquitoes that cause disease that are like coming into the U.S. from other areas, or just local that are coming up that we don't know of. And so, thanks to the Google parent Alphabet, they're trying to come up with ways to eradicate mosquitoes. But if you eradicate them, then you find something that works, but then it's bad for you, for our health. So it's really hard. It's a toss-up, trying to really eradicate the mosquitoes that are bad for us with poison that's even bad for us too. So a white high-top Mercedes van winds its way through the suburban sprawl and strip malls of the swarm of male Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. The names of these mosquitoes are hard to pronounce, pardon me. Shoot out of a black plastic tube on the passenger side window. These pests are tiny and with a wingspan of just a few millimeters, all but invisible. See, it's not only insects that you're able to see, but some are really, really tiny, like these mosquitoes, and they're hard to see with the naked eye sometimes. You hear the little beating sound, but you can really hear their sound, so it's like, you know. This is Kathleen Parkes, a spokesperson for Verily Life Sciences, a unit of Alphabet. She's trailing the van in her car, the windows down, like a da-da-da. That's the release of the mosquitoes. Really? So someone or something is releasing these mosquitoes? Oh boy. Jacob Crawford, a Verily senior scientist writing with Parkes, began describing a mosquito control technique with dazzling potential. These particular vermin, he explains, were bred in the ultra-high-tech surroundings of Verily's automated mosquito rearing system, 200 miles away in South San Francisco. They were infected with Wolbachia, a common bacterium. When these 80,000 lab-bred Wolbachia-infected male mosquitoes mate with their counterpart females in the wild, the result is stealth annihilation. The offspring never hatch. Better make that 79,999. One just hit the windshield, says Crawford. Okay, great. So they're trying to find a better way for them to handle the bad mosquitoes by creating ones that have a bacteria that the bad mosquitoes are not immune to. And that's better for us humans and for the environment, you know. And I'm happy for that they have the funding to do that. Mosquito-borne disease eradication is serious stuff for Alphabet. though it is just one of many of the company's forays into healthcare and life sciences through Verily and other branches of the company. Alphabet is investigating smart contact lenses, artificial intelligence applications for healthcare, and the molecular mechanisms of aging. Just this month, Alphabet hired Geisinger Health CEO David Feinberg to oversee its many healthcare initiatives. See, they're not just doing environmental stuff, they're doing healthcare stuff as well. Props to Alphabet! Verily guards its technology closely, but it stands to reason that if it succeeds in making mosquito control easy and cheap enough, it could have a lucrative offering on its hands. Many governments and businesses around the globe might be glad to pay for solution for their mosquito problems. Of course, nobody wants to deal with the pesky mosquitoes, especially the ones that harm you. In the arid climate of California's Central Valley, A. aegypti are detested for their vicious bite, but there, at least, they don't typically transmit disease. Other places aren't so lucky. The mosquito species is among the world's deadliest, spreading diseases such as dengue fever and chikungunya. Okay, even the names of these diseases are hard to pronounce, some of them, so pardon me. In the tropics and subtropics, the diseases that its bite carries kills tens of thousands of people every year and infects millions more. Releasing Wolbachia-infected mosquitoes into the wild may eventually wipe out entire populations of deadly mosquitoes and the disease they carry. That's great, because even if those good mosquitoes that they're releasing attack someone, because they don't attack the right person, the right person is supposed to be telling the mosquitoes, but they attack a person, then you know, okay, it won't harm us. It will just be a non-vicious bite. It will be a painful bite, but it won't be a life-threatening bite. At least that's the plan if the field tests pan out in California. Every morning during mosquito season, which runs from April to November, the van, emblazoned with debug Fresno, cruises through leafy housing tracts full of multi-story homes. At predetermined locations, an algorithm automatically releases carefully calculated number of mosquitoes, counting each individual insect with the help of a laser as it exits the van. Well, they have to have a way to, test and monitor these mosquitoes somehow. As the efforts to wipe out mosquito-borne diseases have ramped up, a few different approaches to the problem have emerged. Bill Gates alone has pledged more than $1 billion for technologies that may help wipe out malaria, including controversial efforts to genetically modify mosquitoes. Verili's approach relies on a variation of a very odd strategy known as sterile insect technique, in which a population is gradually killed off by interfering with the ability to reproduce. And in my opinion, that's the safest and healthiest way to go about it. Just stopping it at the root, by it not being able to reproduce. It's unclear that what would happen if the world's disease-causing mosquitoes were done away with. The ecological role that mosquitoes play hasn't been thoroughly studied, though some scientists suggest we might be just fine without them. But it's clear that A. aegypti has no business in Fresno County. Native to warmer, wetter climates, no one knows where they came from and when they showed up in 2013. All that's certain is that they spread extremely rapidly. Okay, well, so we don't know how it will affect if they're not in their normal habitat. So it's just an experiment to wait to be seen, As the effort to wipe out after we detected it, we did a massive and extensive effort to prevent the mosquito from establishing and eliminate it, says Jody Holman, the Scientific Service Director for Fresno County's Consolidated Mosquito Abatement District. We were not successful in any way, shape, or form. Oh. Well, it's trial and error trying to figure out what works to eradicate mosquitoes and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to see when you're unsuccessful and you have to go back to the drawing board. The county went from having not much of a mosquito problem at all to one that made residents avoid their backyards and porches. Unlike most mosquitoes, A. aegypti lives and breeds in places inhabited by people, laying its eggs in, say, the few droplets of stagnant water at the bottom of a wine glass left on the balcony, then hiding under beds and in closets, biting legs and ankles. This makes it much harder to fight. Going door to door and begging residents to dump out standing water wasn't cutting it. So in 2016, Fresno teamed up with a scientist named Stephen Dobson and his company, Mosquito Mate. Dang! Here's a picture of the mosquitoes that were made in the lab. Oh, I'll have a picture for you. You can see it better, but anyway. It seems to be working. This year, Virilli signed on for a second season of releases. 2 Virilli trucks ply 4 different neighborhoods, hitting more than 3,000 homes over 6 months. The company released more than 15 million mosquitoes. Results from 2017 suggested that the population of biting female mosquitoes dropped by 2/3. This year, tweaks to the program have cut the mosquito population by a whopping 95%. A second project by Virilli's Innisfail, Australia, that concluded in June, reduced the mosquito population by 80%. This bodes well for eventually bringing the technology to other parts of the world, regions ravaged not just by itchy ankles but by deadly diseases. See, it's not just, yeah, exactly. You want it to help, number 1, for the deadly diseases, and number 2, deadly mosquitoes, and number 2, just so you don't have any itchy ankles anymore. Wouldn't that be great? Go to swamps and not have to worry about what you're going to get caught with. Oh, that's just great. You can have fun in the swampy forests. We really appreciate... At first, Virilli executives were worried about community resistance to fighting bugs with more bugs. So the company set up an outreach booth, complete with a cage full of male mosquitoes that people could stick their hands in to learn that males don't bite. Only female mosquitoes bite, which is why this and similar projects are careful to only release males. Oh, see? Because the females are the ones that want to procreate, so they're going around wanting to, like, inseminate everywhere, anywhere, and lay their eggs and have a big family. And, you know, the males are, like, enraged with hormones also, and they want to inject themselves everywhere, too. But, at the same token, they're not the vicious ones. They don't bite. Yeah, let's have only male mosquitoes everywhere. No more females because they bite. Oh, boy. We really appreciate you being here, Clifford Lopez, a resident, told the company. I brag to people about how I can sit on my porch now and not get bit. In videos, that's what we want all over the world. I want to be able to sit in the summer and not get bitten. When I see a bite here, a bite there, I'm like, oh, brother. Or go hiking and not get bitten. We really appreciate, in videos of the original trials, you can see Holman, the Fresno County scientist, gingerly blowing the mosquitoes out of a tube. The release van is now filled with proprietary technology, including software that determines exactly what areas of the neighborhood mosquitoes should be released in, and a laser sensitive enough to count every single one as it exits, generating loads of data that can later be used to fine-tune the process. Of course, because if you can tell where all the mosquitoes are and if they're doing their job and it's working, then yeah, you can track your data that way. At Virilli's headquarters, the factory where the mosquitoes are bred incorporates even more automation. Once the eggs are laid, robots rear the mosquitoes to adulthood, package them in containers filled with water and air, feeding them and keeping them warm. So other robots sort them by sex, first by size, females are bigger, and then optically using proprietary technology. Mosquitoes are all given a digital identifier that makes it possible to follow them from egg state to the specific GPS coordinate where they're released, which is awesome. And of course, they have to take out all the females. The females are the ones that cannot be released because they're the ones that bite. With this year's season wrapping up, the company has yet to decide whether it will further expand the program next year. We really wouldn't say how much it costs to manufacture and release tens of thousands of mosquitoes every day, but it's a safe bet that it's still an expensive proposition. Of course, because it's in the new stages. Anything that's in the new stages is costly, but at the same time, you gotta just keep at it, and one day, hopefully, it will get cheaper. And the season I'm talking about already ended, so that was 2018 season. So hopefully this year in 2019, started this month, hopefully they brought it back and are doing it again. The key part is trying to be able to do a program like this in a very affordable and efficient way. Crawford, the virility scientist, says, so that we can go to places where there isn't a lot of money. Of course, if it gets cheaper, then you can go to the third world countries and help them out as well. And that will be very beneficial to everyone around all the countries. And thank you for watching this video, and thanks to all those supporting me and Stefanie in our rants and yarn with two best friends and sticking with us through the easy times and the hard times. It's just trial and error to get our videos up for you guys. And please support us and visit all our links to shop with us online, and check out our other social media stuff we have going on. And please support us and subscribe and send more friends to join us and watch. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.